Hello and welcome. Today is Saturday, 10 o'clock, and we're having a live stream. There will be a $25 giveaway. So I want to say welcome to everybody that's here. So if you could comment in the comment section your name, or actually, if you know the name, just a location where you're from, joining today us, and let's see how many we can get people joining today. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. So far, I see just one person. I seen somebody came in at 9:30. Ayaj, Joanne, Leon, Chris, and Julian. So welcome. Looking forward to tonight's live stream. The last Saturday we had a great one. We almost lasted 3 hours. There were a lot of questions and kind of was, reading through the questions, answering those after the main giveaway. So definitely was a great one. So looking to have a just as good one today. So welcome, whoever's joining in. Just put down in a comment where you're joining from. Joanne, welcome. If you have any questions you guys want to pop in, Tara, welcome. Go ahead, pop in, and we can kind of, do some answers as we waiting on more people to join the stream. And by the way, I will be releasing the name of the app. I got a permission from the group, so definitely looking forward to that as well. Tara, doing good. Actually excited for the stream. I do have to respond to my mom, otherwise she will interrupt us during the stream. Come on. Yes, today is a Saturday and it's a great Saturday. I didn't go out today based on things that happened yesterday. I just, how would I say? I just didn't feel like going out today. I had to analyze. I did download the webcam or the dash cam footage and listen to the conversation again, and I kind of analyzed and kind of looked at what my options are. So I also researched the web based on things that he was saying, and did not found any support. So we'll definitely on Monday I will be calling and talking about um, with Spark about how they are responsible providing false information to their management. So Raylan, welcome. Mary, welcome. Mr. Jonna, welcome. Ajay, welcome. And definitely looking forward to that. How are you guys doing? Are all of you guys gig workers, that is driving for DoorDash, Uber, or any other apps out there, or I'm attracting some people outside of US possibly. Thank you, Mr. Joanna. So we got 10 people. So wow, nice. We are having people coming in. So definitely, if you have not said hello, say hello. Also, be nice if you could say where you're joining us from. That's gonna be nice to kind of get an idea who's from where. Mary, thank you very much, and I appreciate every single one of you joining in. And so, Susan, Uber Eats and DoorDash, Colorado. Uh, I hear in Denver, Colorado, actually a good market, but I have not dashed there. Maybe this late spring, as I head out to Idaho, might stop by Denver and maybe do a couple deliveries. But I might try to see if I can get some deliveries there in Thornton. I used to live there for about a year, so I'm kind of a little bit familiar with the area. So, and we're kind of steady, holding about 8, 10 people. I would like to actually see if we can get to 50 people, but let's see what happens. Give you guys a little idea for tonight. We'll be training on how to analyze your market using Google Maps. This system can also be used on any market. So let's say you decide to travel to another market, or maybe you decided, you know what, I want to take a trip to this larger market that's hour or 2 hours away. So question has become, where do I dash? Let's say example, if I would go from where I'm at to Louisville. So the question where I would actually dash. So to kind of prepare yourself, kind of figure out where might be a best spot to dash without knowing the market. And that's exactly what I'll be doing today, is teaching you guys how to actually take the Google Maps, analyze the market, analyze possibilities, and pick out a place where you would actually see possible good results. Welcome, Gandalf, um, and Leanne. Yes, what I'm hearing, DoorDash has gotten throughout most of the country slower. A lot of the drivers that panicked with the fuel prices, a lot of the drivers that might have quit after the New Year's, um, they kind of understood the fuel benefits that DoorDash offered, and they all went out on the street. So right now they're all thinking they're going to be making huge bucks based on these fuel compensations. Give it about 2 more weeks until they start realizing that compensations are pennies compared to what they were suspecting it to be, and they're going to start quitting again. It's just lack of education based on when it comes down to math and based on interpretation of DoorDash, making it so confusing for drivers to understand what they're really offering. And a lot of drivers got on the platform. Now, those drivers that are using the DoorDash card with the 10% fuel, they might actually stick around longer just for the sake of having that extra fuel discount. So those might actually extend you guys a little bit longer time. But end of the day, it's all about as a market adjusts based on the need and demand. So is also DoorDash. So when there's too many drivers, you start making less. So when other drivers not making enough, they suspecting, they'll start dropping off. So the income can start rising. You can start making more. When you start making more, again, drivers. So it's always going to fluctuate. And welcome, Chris, from Chicago. Welcome. So yeah, it's just that balance that always. That's why I always recommend, and I always say, hey, look for those other apps because those other apps might be a solution in this market. Um, but again, the more customers, like Pedro DOORDASH Santiago, most of you know his channel. He had an order last Sunday. Look at that order. Arrived half hour late. I'm sorry I didn't stand, so I do not know details. Out of the two items he ordered, he only received one. Just imagine putting yourself in his shoes, putting yourself as a customer. How would you feel tipping a driver $15 and not getting the order that you ordered? Getting that order half hour later. And a lot of drivers out there, customers out there that deal with these issues, and they're like, you know what? Maybe it's easier for me just to go pick it up. Maybe it's easier for me to go and use another platform like Grubhub or Uber Eats. Maybe it's easier for us just to go out and have the dinner instead of ordering in and have these issues. So that's why we will see these changes constantly happening, constantly going on, and there's not much we have control of that, and that's just how it is. I'll be speaking about Spark today a little as well, and even with the Spark, um, their marketing concept is having the drivers invite drivers in their own market to get a compensation. And the question is, how many drivers out there would actually attract other drivers as competition to themselves into their own market? And so a lot of these companies, they're just kind of they're not thinking with their head. Simply as that. Whatever they're thinking with is not with their head, because if they would have think with their head, they would not be making they wouldn't be doing certain things. So yeah, uh, and it is what it is. That's just the reality is, and that's why I push you guys towards looking for alternatives. Where are we at? We are 13 minutes in. Can we? Can I ask you guys to everybody that's here to like the video? See if we can get to at least to 15 likes. We're probably gonna do the giveaway. Get that out because a lot of you guys are here just for that and that alone. And I'm very, interesting to work with those that are actually here for the information instead of thank you, Julian. Instead of just here for the money. And I know a lot of people out there is driving, and I'll tell you this for sure. If you're out there driving and not able to listen, money comes first. You can always watch a replay. So go ahead and drive if you have to drive. If Chris, if you win, we'll just run it again. Simply as that. And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mary. We do have what 8 people here right now. So let's do a couple more minutes and let's get Raylene. Thank you as well. So what I'm going to ask everybody that here to try to win the $25 giveaway, put something in a comment, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a Google spreadsheet where I'm going to copy a list of everybody who commented, and then we're going to put that in a spreadsheet, and then the spreadsheet randomly going to pick a person, and Nice. 11 thumbs up. So, definitely put something. So, no point and no need to create bunch of comments because everybody's can only have a one chance. And then from there, Google will pick out of that list a person, and that's how we're going to proceed. So, thank you, Randall. So, any other question you guys might have, or any other comments on the market, or hello, Mimi, and welcome. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the list. Okay, why? Hmm. I know I did it as a test. Grando, it's very simple. It's a business decision. Regardless, hiding the total amount from drivers during an offer is very simple. If they start showing, deliveries are $25, $30, $15, people will sit and not take any orders than those $20, $25, $30 orders. So in order to get more drivers to take smaller orders, is that's where the 625 is where they start hiding the tip, because now drivers have to take 625 and higher to achieve what they're trying to achieve. Then Denver, welcome. Mr. E, welcome. And okay, this is not exactly what I planned. Why? Your live edit. I'll be honest. When I played, it allowed me to take a list of comments. Now it's not allowing me to do that. Yes, I see. On my phone, for some reason, it says 12, but I see 13. And then I'll like it. So right now we're going to have 14, I guess. But I don't understand why it's not allowing me invite share settings. Hmm. I guess I'll have to do it in the same way as Pedro de San Diego does. Because I'm not able to get that list that I was talking about. So So I guess we'll do this way. So guys, as you guys can see on the phone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to channel, pin message, add moderator. So I guess whoever was just got added as a moderator. And where are we? Oh, come on. Oh, so Leanne Fabito, as you guys can see, she became the moderator. So she is the winner. I will need, Leanne, for you to text me to this number your preference of the Cash App or PayPal. And I will respond with a phrase, with a word. Well, I'll need you to put it in a comment section. And then I'll get the money sent out, and then we'll move on to next step. Oh, from Philippines. So you're not. Okay. Leanne, I will. How can I do that? How can I? Oops. Why I'm not able to copy the text? I'll have to just write it down as it is. So, sorry guys, had to move the camera. So Leanne. Okay. Let me go to my PayPal account. Hold on. Okay, why? Okay. Found it. Pay. Send money. A valid email. So Leanne, people says that email that you entered is inaccurate. So uh, can you verify that the email that you provided is accurate, please? Because PayPal will not recognize the email that you sent. Okay, let's do this. Um, so here's Leanne. I did put in the email, as you can see on the screen. When I hit next, please enter a valid email. If you continue to encounter problems, we contact customer service. So could be that there might be, with everything that's going on in this world, might be an issue with I'm not able to send money overseas. I know I used to have no problem sending to Philippines. All I have to do is just pay the conversion fee. And so Leanne. Is anybody here know any known issues that would prevent us from US sending money to Philippines? Okay, Leanne, it's a good time. Of course, there's a glitch. Yeah, I agree. Um, Leanne, would be okay if I send the money through Western Union later on tonight or something? I copied, actually went into the stream. So here's what actually I did. I'm gonna go back open. So I went to a stream and I copied your email that you sent. Let's copy another one. So PayPal, account delete, enter. Oh, this time went through. So I guess there was an issue. So $25. Oops. Can we send that in USD? What's this payment for? Continue. Send with purchase protection. Send to someone you can trust. If you're paying back friend and family, we'll send you money without the purchase protection. Continue. Hold on. Am I the wrong account? Guys, give me a minute. I think I'm in the wrong account because I have multiple PayPal accounts. So log out. Yeah, I am in the wrong account. Log back in. Do apologize. Okay. Okay, right now I'm showing balance. I send money. And I'll turn so you guys can see it again. USD, where is USD? Right there. Continue. Okay, so I guess I was in the right account. There's a fee. Sure, I guess. No problem. So personal. So Leanne, you can see it on the screen. Let me know if you received it. And we're done. So let's get out of here. Now, for future giveaways, I will do certain restrictions. First restriction, unless we're giving away large amounts, like I mentioned in the previous one, when I reach 1,000 subscribers, we'll be having a $500 giveaway. You'll be only limited to have a chance of winning only once per month, the same person. So every month you can have a chance of winning again that same person. Second rule, um, since this is a gig channel, primarily for people dashing, doing DoorDash, which I believe it's only in United States, I think would be actually fair, and especially with flour prices going up here in the United States, would be fair for people having a chance to win in the United States only. What do you guys think here at the channel? Do you guys believe this will be a fair, or do you guys want to be okay having this open for the whole world? Because primarily, I guess most of the tricks and most of the things I'll be able to teach are related to here to United States. So, and you're welcome, Mary. And again, Leanne, congratulations. And you have responded you received. So I'm very, let me bring this back up here. And I'm very excited for you. Now, how many drivers are here like for DoorDash? DoorDash, Uber. I would like to see. Thank you, Chris. I would like to actually see how many people here. So I want to actually do the training that actually will be operations more than 7 cities across the United States, Canada, Australia, and Japan. This includes Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. No, Washington, D.C. is a U.S. territory. Puerto Rico, I think it's an extended U.S. territory. John and a jar, maybe. Great. Okay, so let's start. And so what are you going to do? You're going to go to Google Maps. URL for Google Maps is maps. .google.com. And it most likely open up your location. Does anybody has any specific area that you guys would like me to analyze? Do you guys want to give me a city? Probably a city that is one of your guys' cities. So we'll be analyzing, I guess, helping you to understand, and maybe you guys can give me feedback. How good am I analyzing your city? Because if I analyze my city, I kind of already did, so I know my city. Um, where it's at. So Broomfield, Colorado. So you're gonna type in, your town, your city in, and we're gonna close that. So it's between Boulder and Thornton. I know. I actually lived in Thornton right here, so very familiar with the Thornton area. Broomfield, when I lived, it was, geez, about 12 years ago, was not much there. So, first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to print off a map, and I probably would recommend maybe printing off a couple maps. Uh, Los Angeles, it's gonna be, it's a big, Los Angeles is a big market, so very nice actually to kind of localize yourself to a small area, but starting off, hey, Pedro, welcome. We're kind of doing a training on a video where people can analyze their area through Google Maps as a place where they can start. Or maybe they want to go to a neighbor city that's bigger city, and they want to actually know where would be a good spot. So after you print off the area, what you want to do is you want to type in restaurant. And what it's going to do is it will give you restaurant map. Now, um, as you move through the map, you'll want to hit research this area so you can move on. And then what you want to do is sometimes move in and analyze the area again to see more restaurants that's open up. And as most of us know, yes. So you want to actually go and focus on restaurants instead of fast foods. So, but again, you want to see which fast foods in your area are good, and if those areas are good and and they're having your food ready for your customer, or the DoorDash or Uber customer, and you're just in and out, then don't ignore them if the customer pays good. But most tip will come from high-end restaurants, or maybe certain type of restaurant that is a gym in your area that people actually middle class customers are ordering from. So I would actually start marking on your app, and start marking like this restaurant right here, another Oka Sushi Asian cuisine. One thing I have noticed, Chinese places usually tip quite well. So you start kind of going through the restaurants, kind of get familiar with those restaurants. If you know the area, you're probably going to know. Right there is another one, Q Barbecue Westminster. So you start marking on your app, on your map, these restaurants. And honestly, as I'm looking on the bunches here, let's search this again. I would probably fall back somewhere down this area right here. Looks like it's quite heavy. You have another restaurant here. None of these restaurants for me is our familiar names. And then what you want to go is you want to actually skip a couple of weeks and see if you're getting orders from these restaurants, because some of these restaurants might not be on DoorDash's Uber Eats platforms. So, you kind of, see a restaurant, but it's kind of not giving you any benefit. But, if you find a gym, you want to get as close to that restaurant as possible to constantly get orders. Uh, Based on my analysis and patterns, as I noticed, I seen where there's two ways how you can actually get an order from a good restaurant. One way, if you're a top dasher and you are within 10 minutes of driving distance or within 2.5 miles of the restaurant, they might be sending you in an order from the restaurant. If you're not a top dasher, you want to be as close to the restaurant tablet as you can to increase your chance of getting an offer from that restaurant. What I never said, but what I've recommended is with some of the drivers locally is trying to, when you know where is the tablet at, as picked up two, three, four orders, you kind of, get to that place, pretend like you're just, just leaning to the wall and waiting on somebody, and increase your chance of actually getting that order. This will also will help you get more of those orders. I know a guy here in Lexington that he only does Cheesecake Factory. He'll park the vehicle, he'll walk to the door where the tablet is at, and he'll just sit by the door and go through the orders as they come in and pick out the order that he wants. And he does really well, and that's one of the ideas where I started looking at these concepts, and I started noticing that they work. Of course, a lot of us that want to just sit in our car, but then don't complain if you're not getting what exactly you might be looking for, because your chance might be a second or third choice after that driver that might be closer to that restaurant. Bloomfield entails West Minister, Nordland, Thornton, Commerce City. Interesting. Kimbed, welcome. And you can always rejoin whenever you have a chance. That's great, counsel. So, those are the possibilities. So as you kind of go through the restaurants, you learn the restaurants, then start analyzing the restaurant on the road. Start seeing what kind of offers you're getting from there. Um, there is always hidden gems. Now, I'll tell you guys a little experience I actually started off this week, what actually led to the video that I posted yesterday. On Tuesday, I pull up to Walmart, and as I pull up and I roll my window down, I park to start, wait until I get an offer. I hear one of the drivers going at one of the Walmart employees. There's no point coming here when this guy shows up, and you guys are favoring him compared to rest of us. And I know exactly he's talking about me. And that's where I'm saying some of these systems and certain apps, they work. All you have to do is just be willing to do it, like getting the closest to the restaurant or stuff like that. So, as things advanced on Thursday, Friday, it happened. I'll play the video a little bit later today for you guys kind of get more understanding. So, being by closest to the restaurant works. Now, do you want to waste time by the restaurant that might not be in a platform for DoorDash? That's why I'm saying take first couple of weeks and analyze. Find that restaurant, and then when you find that 2, 3, 4 restaurants, then actually always fall back. But if you're getting a good order on your way to the restaurant from another place, never ignore it. Now I want to actually show you guys something else, and this is something that I personally created. If you guys go to any of my videos, you guys will find, let me do this. Yeah. Okay. If you guys go to any of the videos, under the video says link to a hidden tip cheat sheet. Click on that link and you guys are going to be able to see a cheat sheet that I actually did for DoorDash. So on a first column, you guys going to see miles. So when you when an offer comes in, you guys see miles that will the total miles will take you guys to get to the restaurant and from restaurant to the customer, and then you guys see the offer and the restaurant that you're going to be picking up an order. So let's say if the mileage is it says 3 miles, that means the hidden tip star, and your base pay is 225. That means the hidden tip starts at 625. You want to also keep in mind if there's any peak pay, you need to add to this amount. So let's say there's a $2 peak pay. That means now it's not going to be 625. It's going to be 825. Now, example. Of course, in some areas, these numbers might slightly differ. So you want to actually learn your market and see how it does fluctuates. But 4 miles, let's say example, an offer comes in. Now, and you have a $2 peak pay, that means now the hidden tip will start at $9. So that means if you're having a $9 offer, there is possibility that delivery pays more than $9. But a DoorDash will most likely not show more than that $9. Let's say the delivery is 5.5 miles. Now we have a $9. If there's a peak pay of $2, that means that offer will come in at $11, and they will not show more than $11 because they're trying to hide a hidden tip. So that is how I used to when I was hunting for hidden tips. This sheet that I created, I used to go off of to see is there possibly a hidden tip on it, and then actually take orders. Now the third column is kind of give you guys an idea. Which now I don't drive for DoorDash, so I'm not updating this cheat sheet, and I'm hoping that maybe somebody out there understand this concept and can actually take it and run with it and continue updating this for everybody. But if it says new, that means it was recently updated. I started putting a number like this is this was updated in the month of January. All these from 3 to 3.4 miles. Now we have a 4.1 and 4.2 was updated in February. These that says new, that means they were updated in the year of 2021, maybe October, November, December. Estimated means that at 4.5 miles, I have never received an offer yet that had a hidden tip. So I'm estimating that it should be somewhere around 775 where they actually would be hiding the tip. Now, until I find that and confirm it, it's going to stay estimated. Not sure exactly what 9 means here, but you guys kind of get an idea. Now, you guys do know that on stack orders, it's always going to show $12 unless there's a hidden, until there's a peak pay. So let's say there's a $1 peak pay. Now, instead of $12, it's going to show $14. So as $14, there is a possibility of hidden tip on one of those orders or on both of those orders. If there is a $2 peak pay, that means they'll show $16. So it's going to start at $16 where there will be possibly a hidden tip. So by learning and at 8.6 miles, I had an offer at $14. At 8.8 miles, I had an offer at $13.25. There's a hidden tip. So as you guys can see, on hidden tips on miles, there might not be as accurate. So, and as you know, here on single orders, At 10 miles, I had a 14.50 offer. At 10.3 miles, I had $16 offer. And 13 miles, the offer came in at the 17.75, which I believe it might come back at 7.75 or higher. So, does anybody have a question based on Google Map and based on cheat sheet? Because I want to actually go and show you guys a little bit different, and I want to pick a little bit less of a market, because it looks like Denver market is a very nice condensed market. I am jealous of those of you guys that are in Denver market. It's a very nice market. Question is, how is actually the market right now in Denver? Are you guys keep staying busy? Are you guys having good orders coming in, or are you guys experiencing issues as other people in other markets that on the web and saying, "Hey, it's just not working out"? Anybody there, or we just lost everybody, or they fall asleep from me? Hello. So I guess what I'm going to do is let's actually go to my market, since I actually familiar with my market, and kind of give you guys Cincinnati Lexington right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to search the restaurant area. And I try to stay away from downtown because it's not easy to find a lot of drivers out here right now. And I don't go too far south. Actually, the area that we just looked at, Suzanne, is a good area. I don't see a point going too far away from that area. Now, let's say we're going to look at the Lexington area where I dash right now. So we just pulled up and we kind of see some areas here where it would be this. So what I would do is I would actually zoom in about right there, and I would actually print this off. And then I would start marking the area. So I would actually go and start marking each area by refreshing and seeing what I see on the screen. So I see, we have a Lexington Diner. That's Hospital. Domino's Pizza, which is not on DoorDash, or at least I'm not aware of being on DoorDash. Sorry, it's just Cameron. VRU Burger Bar. I know this one is not on DoorDash, or at least never received an offer from there. Then we have Old Charles here, which I'm not seeing fast food, so that's kind of nice. Then as we move further into this area here, I see some restaurants here. Winchell's restaurant. I have never received an order from this place as well. Then you have a Fiat Mall, which if we move on, and that's why a lot of times you need to zoom in quite a bit and refresh to start seeing offers. And then look at that. There was no restaurant. Right now we have restaurants. So by zooming in, you can start seeing things that playing out. And then by the mall can be a nice place to run with, but also a lot of times by the mall it's a heavier traffic, more drivers, so you're competing. So you want to look for those hidden gems. And so we have a lot of restaurants here. We have some restaurants here, as we can see. Now let's refresh this area right here and see what we have here. So as we can see, we have a couple restaurants here. We have some restaurants here, but most of you guys can see these are fast foods. Taco Bell, Rallies, Fazoli's, Grimmers, Papa John's, Shanghai Bistro, which I have now received an order from there. Mud Pizza did not receive. Ramsey's. Out of this area right here, Ramsey's would be the only restaurant that I would fall back if I would actually get into this area. But the problem with Ramsey's, as I then went out and I started analyzing this particular area, Ramsey's not getting a lot of orders. So because of not a lot of orders, this area wasn't just worth for me to chase. So you kind of want to analyze and say, okay, out of this area, I want to see how Ramsey is doing. So spend a couple hours by Ramsey's and see how often you're getting those orders, especially in the evening. Then we have Zaxby's, Cheaters, Scratch Chicken, Waffle House, Little Caesars, and there's an actually alcohol place. Out of all this area right here, alcohol place I discovered to be the only worth place where good tips were coming in. Also, Rite Aid. There's a Rite Aid store right here in this building. So sometimes good order comes in for Rite Aid. So what I would actually do is I would park by the alcohol Reading drugstore and try to get those alcohol orders, and sometimes I'll get the CVS store orders as well. Everything else I would just decline, like Little Caesar. Uh, I never got anything good from there, so I would just decline nonstop. Zaxby's, very rarely got a good order. So you kind of, after you analyze the map, then you're going to go to that area and work that area and see what's worth it. And after analyzing, I discovered certain things. And here's something that I'm actually going to share with you guys for my area. There's a nice row of restaurants here. So if I ever get into this area, I tried sitting in this area trying to get some of the orders from Drake's House, Wild Egg. Wild Egg actually does really good on Uber. There is another restaurant here that I'm not seeing. Let's see if we can refresh it one more time. There's I forgot the name. There's another restaurant here that is not showing up on the map. So I kind of learned and found that I can sit here. I can also sit in this area here and get something from Old Chicago or Logan Roadhouse. There was Total Wine, also sometime during the day, has good order as well. So I went in and I kind of learned the area. I discovered which restaurants are giving me good orders. Red Robin also now was turning out to be a good one, but not as a lot of orders. Steak and Shake, sometime had from this area. All of these that I'm mentioning are good paying tip restaurants that on average they were coming in good. So same thing, after you analyze the area, you want to get to the area and start then physically seeing what's coming through. And as you pull up to those restaurants, you kind of watch and see, are you getting a lot of bad orders from those restaurants, or we're getting every other order is actually coming in with possible hidden tip. And then from there you kind of make decisions. Okay, from certain time of a day to a certain time of day, I'm gonna sit here. Kind of give you guys idea what I was doing lately before I started doing Spark is I would start out by Sam's Club. Here by Sam's Club, there is no restaurant, but there is a Starbucks. So I'd start out a morning with Starbucks till about 9, 10 o'clock. And sometime I would get pulled in to a Starbucks that's right here. Nope. Where am I? Right there. And pull into this Starbucks. Now, by 10 o'clock, I would pull back and start sitting in this area because at around 10 o'clock, I would start getting some orders from Bob Evans, Crackle Barrel. That was still kind of like a breakfast orders, but they were paying between 10 and 15, $20 orders. So I would just pull back into here and I would try to stay here till about 2 o'clock and, and deliver in this region. Now, from 2 o'clock, I would try to get an order that would actually take me to this area that we just analyzed and actually work this area right here. Because usually from 2 o'clock till about 4 o'clock, usually a lot of areas are experience a very slow time of not a lot of orders coming in. And for me, this area was quite busy, while here was literally just dead. So I would fall till about 4 o'clock, and then at around 4:30, I would try to get an order heading this direction. Because at this point, I would want to fall back to this area, but at that point, I was trying to get also an order that would actually pull me into Nicholasville on Grubhub. Because in the evening, Grubhub was actually paying good for me. Around orders were coming in around 15 to 25, $30 orders, and I would actually play into this area, which here I didn't analyze much area. A lot of fast food areas in Nicholasville. I'll tell you guys up front, deliver quite a bit here. Um, but with the Grubhub, I didn't really care. Was this a fast food? Was this a restaurant? As long as the order was good and I did not have to wait, I just flew with it. Just up here right now. Okay. A vacation in Mexico 4 years ago today. Love the area. Keep it up. It's Slavic. Thank you, Rico, and welcome. I don't think I said welcome to you. For some reasons, about every time I get a Pizza Hut order, people never tip. Um, you want to see, is that pizza place is a DoorDash app or Pizza Hut? Sorry, the Pizza Hut is on a DoorDash app order, or this is something that Pizza Hut is using DoorDash to deliver their call-in orders, and there might be if that happening, there might be pocketing the tip, and you don't see that tip because you have to understand that DoorDash charges about seven to $9 a restaurant, just a delivery fee, which we get only the 225 from out of that $7 or $9. So on top of that, then restaurant have to give a tip that customer provides. So a lot of time the restaurant will do is say, you know what, we will use that tip as a part of compensation to compensate that $7-9 delivery fee. So let's say an example, a restaurant is only willing to pay $4, and there was also a $3 tip. So now they're using that $7 instead of the $3 towards the tip. They're using that $3 towards compensating that $7 delivery fee that they're being charged by DoorDash. And that's why when we see that order coming through on our end, we only see that 225 because the tip was used to compensate for the delivery fee for DoorDash. So Grand Olf, that is the way I seen things play out here. So does and I also give you guys a little idea. For those of you who might be in Lexington, Change Chinese place, very nice place. Majority orders come out of this place. Our hidden tip, average average tip is around $6 to $15. So as you analyze and you find some of these hidden gems in your area, and as you deliver, you say, you know what, I'm falling back to this restaurant right now because I'm closer to this restaurant than going to my place that I preferly to go, or I'm falling to another place. So as you study your area, and again, how did I find this place? I did my studies. I played with Google Map. I learned the area. Another area that I discovered was really good, but just too far to drive, is a nice restaurant area right here. As you can see, a lot of these are fast foods here, but we had, Firehouse, nice orders coming through from a Firehouse. So, I looked at this area. There's a Applebee's, Starbucks for Uber, um, A&W restaurant also were nice orders. So as I learned, I discovered that some of these restaurants are worth coming in and sitting. But then as I was doing live streams, ride-alongs, and I started noticing that some of the people, local people, as they watch me, they would actually chase me to this area. And eventually I started sharing those orders as they're coming in with other drivers. And I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here and I need to go somewhere else. So kind of, my followers chased me out of here. So that's kind of, something that I experienced. So those of you guys that don't have channels, or if you guys do have channels and don't stream areas or you're dashing from, you might be able to find those gems and keep it to yourself. Where in my situation, I kind of, was dragging others into the area. Lee's Garden. A lot of times I would actually, as I sit here, I would actually get an order from Lee's Garden, another place that orders were coming in with good hidden tips. Now, some of you might say, hey, Slavic, a fantastic area right here. Why are we not pulling in anything? We should. A lot of areas right here that are good as well. But now, I don't like the neighborhood right here. Also, the whole surrounding area right here are people with low income. And I have discovered as I delivered in this area, um, even though I had a lot of choices, a lot of offers, but majority of those offers were coming in with very rarely a hidden tip. So I would actually burn through a lot of time sitting in my car trying to get an order, but I was getting a lot of orders that were just not worth taking for me. So, I just said, it's just not worth this area. So I started moving on to somewhere else. And so that's how you kind of, you analyze your area, you analyze the market that you're delivering to. You want to be delivered to a middle class uh, customers, to people that actually have that extra money to spend and tip, and you want to get to those restaurants where those middle class people are ordering from. Pay to drive, thank you. I am doing better towards the end of the day as I kind of analyzed the yesterday's situation and the opportunities and options that I have to proceed forward. So, thank you. So, I hope that kind of explained and helped understand how to use Google Maps as a beginning spot or as a beginning place where you can learn the area, learn the possible restaurants. Man, I'm moving forward. That's not a question. I had a target for this week, $1,500. If that what happened yesterday would have not happened, I probably would have been by last by yesterday night, somewhere around 1315 to $1,400, and then I would have went out today this morning and knocked out that remaining 100 or $150 and hit my target. But with everything that happened, it's just interrupted my plan. Jeff, first of all, welcome. And second, are you a top dasher or a non-top dasher? Because the answer will be different. If you could respond to that question. So, not top dasher. As a not top dasher, you want to get as close as possible to the DoorDash's tablet at the restaurant. That will increase. The closer you get, the higher your chance of receiving the most amount of orders that come out of that restaurant. Now, as a non-top dasher, you will be competing with top dashers that are about up to a mile and a half away or maximum 10 minutes of distance travel time. So those will be the only competitors to you if you are the closest to the tablet. Now, for the top dashers, uh, if the time if you're in a busy time, you will get orders from restaurants in surrounding area up to 10 minutes of travel time away or up to a mile and a half away, whichever one is more common based on DoorDash. And I have not been able to figure that exact, but which of the two they'll make the choice on the priority. As a top dasher, yes, you driving around will be a good spot. As a non-top dasher, no. What I recommend is actually getting out of your car and kind of go to that restaurant outside where you know the tablet of the restaurant of the DoorDash is, and kind of lean to the wall, pretend like you're waiting for somebody or taking that smoke or something, and just pretend that you're not kind of just chilling, but really you're trying to be the closest to the tablet to get that order. So that's what I experienced to be successful. I actually done this test in this area that I showed you guys with the as a main command. That would be, wait a minute, this is the order right here. So at Applebee's. So what actually going, because I had a good relationship with the people at the Applebee's, I would actually go in and actually just sit in the chair. And I would just, just talk with an employee. I would tip them every 2-3 deliveries. I would give them $1 because I like to always kind of, pay forward. So when I come in next time, they kind of trying to get me out quicker. So I always, like to tip restaurant employees at least once every 2-3 deliveries. So I would come in and as I talk with them, I would actually really truly sit there to get the orders. And compared to as drivers would come in, I would get almost every every of those orders I would get on the screen, which I would decline, and then I would see a driver come in, and I would know that I'm getting those orders faster than those drivers are sitting in the car. So that's kind of the game that I play to learn how I can actually manipulate the system and benefit by doing something that other drivers are not aware that they can do. I'll try that tomorrow. Thanks. I try my restaurant too. Yeah, when I sit, I usually don't get orders sent to me. But with today's gas price, I can't afford to drive around. Yes, and like I mentioned it before, I'm not sure, Jeff, you were here. The idea of sitting as close as possible to the restaurant actually came from another driver that only delivers for Cheesecake Factory at the mall. So here's the mall. And so what he would do, he would actually park, find a parking, and he would leave the car. He would come in, and as the Cheesecake Factory is all this corner right here, and here's actually our drivers. We go in here, the door. He would actually go on another side of the fence and lean against the wall as if he's waiting somebody coming out of the wall, out of the mall, and wait for a good order. And he would sort through orders. And he said, and according to him, he said he gets 90% of the orders going through his phone. So he has a lot of choices what to take, and he only takes what he likes. As soon as he gets that order, he just jumps the fence, and he's in to pick up the order. So that's when I took that idea and I started testing that at Applebee's and a few other places. But Applebee's, I had a chance to test it literally like 3 feet away from the tablet. But again, some of things might change. DoorDash always changing things. So those are the things that I just wanted. If you want to go back and rewatch this video after we're done, you are welcome. But analyzing your market and finding those restaurants that you kind of never thought of going, and that is a Chinese restaurant, that is high-end restaurants, restaurants that are in a middle class or high-end class. That, again, I noticed a little pattern. People are making over $100,000. Very rarely they're actually ordering. And yes, they might be a good tippers, but very rarely they actually will order from the restaurant. But middle class people, they usually order about 2 to sometimes maybe 3 times a week during dinner hour. So you have a lot better chance at a middle class area compared to a high end class on getting orders in, unless there's a certain high end class area with a high end income area that, for whatever reason, they're actually ordering a lot in, which I have not seen that in my area. In my area, PF's chain are not good, and not because of no hidden tip, because there's quite a bit of hidden tips of PF chain, but sometimes you end up waiting 15-20 minutes. And I had a very simple rule. For every $5 that I'm getting paid, I would wait for 2.5 minutes. So let's say I get a $10 order. That means I'm only waiting for 5 minutes on that order. If I don't get that order in 5 minutes, I'm out. Let's say offer come in for $20, or I'm suspecting this order to be $20 based on the hidden tip chart that I actually showed you guys how to use. So those of you that have been late, definitely go back and learn and watch the video how to use the chart. And if I'm suspecting a $20 tip, then I'll wait up to 10 minutes. Of course, I have waited. I think the longest I have ever waited was 45, 47 minutes. But that's before I started building this structure, building this hidden cheat sheet, and before analyzing the market. Kind of give you guys a little history for you guys to understand. When I started DoorDashing in Denver. It's a small town. I live in Stanford, which they eventually extended DoorDash into Stanford, but none of the restaurants are still on the platform. So I started dashing in Danville, and problem with Danville, you have a lot of old timers. Those guys have been dashing for year 2, 3, and 4 in the area, and it was kind of not was hard to make the money that I needed to make, because I needed to earn at least $200 a day just to stay on top of the bills. And maximum I've been able to earn for the whole day in Danville is about $80-$90. Got to a point at one point where I started getting really discouraged, because A month comes and I'm borrowing more money than a credit card. Another month comes and I'm borrowing and I'm getting myself deeper and deeper into credit card debt. And that's when I got introduced to Pedro, and I spoke with Pedro. Pedro said, "Hey, why don't you check another market?" So for me, from Stanford to drive to Lexington, it's about 50 miles. So I kind of didn't want it to do that, but I'm sorry, Lexington is here. But eventually, I kind of said, you know what, I'm gonna go. So I went out and and before analyzing on Google Map, I went out and I did day shift, I did evening shift, I did night shift. I I even drew the whole night a couple times, and I discovered that the earning at night was about the same as earning during the day. So what's the point keeping myself up at night if I can make the same money? And the issue with Lexington with night, very few fast food restaurants were only open, and every single one of those restaurants or the fast food places that were open, every time you got to them, it was a 15 to a 30-minute wait. So maybe you could have been busy and and doubled and tripled your money at night, but because of those waits, those nights just became worthless. So I kind of fell back to the day shift, and I started, really searching the area out. I started really searching for those areas where I can benefit. And eventually, when I gave up being as a top dasher, uh, I kind of was forced to multi-app, because before being giving up as a top dasher, I didn't really. I did a little multi-app there, a little multi-app there, but I didn't do it a lot. But as I gave up, I was kind of forced to multi-app, and then eventually going and looking for alternative apps, which eventually I found Spark. Can be long wait. One time I waited about half an hour. I've never driven middle of the night. 50 Thursday, 50 back. Wow, you're committed, brother. Jeff, yes. I used to be a CEO. I built multiple businesses in the back, but now I'm kind of in a position in my life where, in about May last year, my bank account was emptied out. $136,000 just evaporated. And that's when I kind of had no choice but forced overnight to go out and do something. At the time, I already was registered with DoorDash, because I always like to have a plan B just in case. So I registered with DoorDash just at the beginning of the pandemic. So I registered. I did about 3, 4 deliveries when I one night to Nicholasville, kind of get an idea of what DoorDash is, and then I said, okay, if so, this will be our emergency situation. So when last May that emergency situation happened, I started running Danville area. So uh, yes, Pedro impacted my life dramatically. What's coming, comp- uh, what pertaining to the income. He pointed me, even some people would never travel 50 miles one way to Dash, but in my situation, bills are paid, got paid. I started learning and eventually converting this channel, which used to be a crypto channel, eventually converting this channel into a geek channel. So, and here's something I'll tell every single one of you: don't say that being a top dasher is the most worstest thing you can ever do, um, because there are certain benefits to that. It just has to be your choice to give it up or not give it up. Like for me personally, as a top dasher in Lexington, I could have done in about 8 to 10 hours. I could been able to do $200 to earn $200. But when I gave up top dasher status, I had to multi app in order to get back myself to $200. So there is that difference where I couldn't just on DoorDash alone no longer make that money. Stumbled on his videos. He was the one that mentioned your channel, and now I'm here. Mimi, welcome, and I hope I'm providing knowledge that you guys can run with and increase your results. Um, Maybe next week we'll talk about multi-apping and things that I've learned as I multi-apped. No, only at the end of the month. So here's the trick. First of all, if you're not a top dasher, it's going to be hard to become one unless you call DoorDash around the 15th and 16th of the month and ask them to give you that 2-week top dasher status to achieve that result. Now, what do you need to do to become a top dasher and hold your top dasher every single month? Throughout the month, I would actually pick and choose the best paying deliveries that I believed that were coming in that were actually benefiting me. But when it was coming out to around the 24th, I would fall back into Danville area instead of Lexington, because in Lexington there's a lot of 225 offers coming in. So for me to take every single order to get myself acceptance rate to 71% was just not worth it. But in Danville, 225s are not as common. Usually in Danville, you're getting 325, 425, 525 orders. And delivery distance in Danville are usually a lot shorter. So I would fall back to Danville, run for about 3 days, all day long, get my rating to 71%, and then I would take that remaining 1 or 2, 3 days left as a break until the first day. And when I get that notification on my phone that I'm a top dasher again, then I'll go back to Lexington and repeat all over again. Decline as much as I wanted. I've been as low as 1% on acceptance rate as a top dasher at one point. So I would decline as much as I wished and take whatever it was worth for me until the end of the month, and then I will repeat again. Get my score up to 71%, get confirmation I'm a top dasher, and then re-rinse it again. Okay, I personally have never done this yet, but I hear drivers call to DoorDash and they kind of, usually when you call DoorDash, you want to have some kind of a complaint, they kind of, mistreated you or whatever. And then based on those, that complaint, you say, you know what? Okay, I'm willing to accept it the way it is because, hey, you're never going to win with DoorDash, no matter how much you complain. But and say, hey, but in return, can you help me out and give me 2 weeks of a top dasher? I've been hearing from a lot of drivers that DoorDash will even offer themselves as a compensation to give you that 2 weeks of top dasher. So calling and asking might not hurt. Again, if you don't get it from one support agent, half hour later, call in, maybe see you'll get it from another support agent. But what you want to do, you want to do that around the 15th, 16th of the month. So that 14 days that they'll give you as a top dasher will cover you towards the end of the month. So the end of the month, you can rinse it. And while, those 2 weeks, you can actually experience what is a top dasher and the difference of the type of orders you will be receiving. And I challenge every single person before they say, hey, top dasher is a bad thing. Get that 2 weeks and experience with it. After those 2 weeks, yeah, you can bash top dashers as much as you want. But if you've never been a top dasher or you never took advantage of the top dasher when you were a top dasher, how can you really say the top dasher is never worth? Maybe in your situation, it is the best solution. Like right here, for people in Danville, in order for them to dash in Danville, they have to be a top dasher. Because if they're not top dasher, they're not getting on the schedule. That's why for me, as a not top dasher, to me to qualify for a top dasher right now, it's almost impossible unless I'm willing to take those 225 in Lexington. Because in Danville, I cannot get on the schedule. It's just not realistic. Qualification next month. I'm going to try that next month and report back. Jeff, I encourage, but at the end of the day, it is your choice. Uh, like I said, depends on your market. Like Pedro says, it's just not worth it. I would challenge Pedro to go and get that 2 week as a top dasher status, so he can really truly compare is it worth it or not. But if you like, he has not really done it as a top dasher. He's just saying it's just not worth it. And for me, it's just kind of like, hey, can you actually do it before you bash it? But again, right now, being really market has changed. And remember, DoorDash will first prioritize top dashers before they'll prioritize you as a non-top dasher. That's why top dashers are, even in right now market, they are more busier than the non-top dashers. So you have to look at your market. You have to try it, analyze it, and then make a decision. And if you choose to be a top dasher, remember the last 4 or 5 days of the month is very crucial for you to pick up that acceptance rate to 71%. Why am I saying 71%? Because a lot of times you might see on your phone 70%, and truly it's 69%, because your app doesn't properly show the true numbers that are on DoorDash's site. The only way to see the true numbers that's on DoorDash's site is actually uninstalling the app, rebooting your phone, and then reinstalling the app, DoorDash app again, and then re-logging in. Then it will actually pull the actual true data from DoorDash. But before you uninstall the data, you want to delete cache. So you want to clear cache, pretty much clear everything, uninstall the app, reboot the phone, then reinstall the app, re-log in, then you will actually see true numbers that DoorDash has on acceptance rate. And you want to make sure that you have 70% at the midnight, I believe, a Pacific time of the end of the month. And then you want to wait and get an approval, which usually it's less than 24 hours from that midnight that you'll get a confirmation on email, I believe, as well as on your phone that you are a top dasher. Issue the challenge tomorrow in Pedro Live, maybe. Um, I definitely would love to, but first of all, I'm really bad at spelling. That's why I don't do a lot of comments unless there's something short, yes, no, hello, everyone. Things that easier for me, and I know how to spell it already. Second, the chat moves so fast that it's kind of hard to catch the pager's attention. And third, there's a lot of people on the stream, so I don't get a lot of chances to actually get on live with him and speak, as it was when the channel was smaller and there was only like 100 people attending that chat. Right now, I think he got to about 500 people attending live stream, which great, but now you guys don't get to hear me often. But now you guys can hear me at my channel at any time. So any questions pertaining to the Google Maps or the cheat sheet? Um, I've been trying to get the Pedro challenge Pedro for, but I have never had a chance. But I've been thinking about trying to challenge Pedro for quite some time because I've been the top dasher. When I gave up the top dasher, I know what I give up. If you guys go back and watch, I think on the 7th of January video, let's actually go back and let go to my channel and see if I can find it. Playlist. Where is DoorDash? Why am I seeing DoorDash? Oh wow. I guess when I was creating a list, I never added a. Right there's the playlist, view full playlist. So we are almost 4 months out. And also, if you guys are out there dashing, you guys should have hot bags, and I would even recommend having pizza bags and catering bags because so here's a video on the January 4th, definitely feeling a difference as a non-top dasher. So I felt the difference right off the back. The first or the second day I went out, and I immediately felt the difference as a non-top dasher. So for me, kind of was, we're certain YouTubers are bashing top dashers, but they never compared it. And for me, kind of like was, are you really truly providing that accurate information? Yes, as a multi-apper, yes, but probably is. I'm sorry, not say yes, probably is, but as a DoorDash only app driver, you might be leading people from not making that extra $100 a day that otherwise they could have. Yeah, especially if you see something on a video that's very important and you cannot kind of devote yourself to a chat and a video. You're right. Have many bags, 3 catering orders this week. Why I'm first of all good. I have 2 catering bags. I have a catering bag that I bought on Amazon that has 5 cup holders. Um, I loved it because I never carried drinks in my car in the store, given cup holders. Always would pull the drinks out and drop it into my catering bag cup holder. Held it really well. Never had an incident with a drink for as long as I dashed. And then all the orders that I would receive, because sometimes you would get those big paper bags like from certain restaurants. On top of the head, I just have a hard time mentioning Bob Evans, like an example. They would not fit in our DoorDash's hot bag that we call it, those small hot bags. So what I would do, I would just drop everything into the catering bag, and I would have a pen. And if I had more than one order from the same place, I would actually mark it with a pen on that receipt or maybe on the bag, so I know the name of the customer that the order belongs to. So when I got to deliver it, I would never mess it up. So pen is very important. So I'll drop it in the catering bag, and then I'll take it out to the customer. So customer would never see that, it was, but if they picked it up, because, most of the orders are, uh, the COVID related, you leave it at the door. So, if the customer picks it up quickly, they will still feel, that their food is hot. But I just don't understand this concept. Leave it at the door, especially in the winter. You put it on the concrete. It takes 3 minutes for that concrete to drain the heat out of your food. So in 3 minutes, that food already dropped 40 to 50 degrees. And for me, I just don't understand who came up with that idea. It just doesn't make sense. Mini bags. I've been waiting for the catering program email for quite some time now. I can't fit my 3 dogs in one. You 3 bags in one? No, I never fit in three. I would fit in 2 bags into a catering bag, and I would have a second catering bag in the trunk, because I would have one sitting behind me, behind the driver on the back seat, and that was actually the one that mainly all the food would go into. If I had something that I couldn't fit, then I would use the second catering bag. And if I had more than I couldn't fit, then I would start using hot bags, because I also had 3 more hot bags, 2 from DoorDash and 1 from a alcohol delivery that I did in the past. So then I would use those. And if I got a catering order, I would put what I could in 2 catering bags, and I put them in the back seat. And then anything that I couldn't fit, I would put it in the trunk, which is my Prius, and then I would actually cover it with a space blanket. And then on top of the space blanket, I had a couple more blankets and towels. I'll throw that on top, and that food stayed warm really well. Actually, stayed warm better uh, under the space blanket and couple blankets than actually stayed in a catering bag. I bought those cardboard for drink holders, but it upside down on the concrete. Jeff, that is a good idea, but I personally believe uh, customer should provide you a place to put that food. There's a customer in my area where I always love delivering. He bought, I don't know, Amazon or somewhere. He bought a plastic box with foam inside that was actually, I guess, sold purposely for people that were receiving packages and food deliveries. And he put a note on the door: all deliveries, including food, should be dropped into the box. And with that inch layer of that foam, you put that food into that box, and you always know it's going to stay warm. And I loved it. And I believe every customer should provide something like that, so the food in the summer, the drink doesn't get warm. In the winter, the food doesn't get cold. That just that's just how I just see it. How be. Second, it prevents from dogs, cats, rats, and who knows any other animals out there from going after that food when the customer might be delayed because he either jumped into a shower or whatever that situation is and cannot get to that food. I also personally just discovered lately that sometimes people don't hear those notifications on their phone when you deliver. And by knocking on the door might get them to pick up that food faster. And at the end of the day, our job is to get them the warm food. Their job is actually provide us a place where that food will not get cold when they are delayed for whatever the reason is. Uh, Yes, as Pedro has mentioned, I have never tried because I'm a kind of a guy where I started doing DoorDash about 2 weeks into it. When I made a decision that that is what I wanted to continue doing, I just spent a couple $100 on a credit card and bought myself a catering bag from Amazon. Like I said, I bought a catering bag from DoorDash. because somebody said on one of the channels that if you get a bag from DoorDash, they'll automatically include you in the catering program. Not true. Till today, I don't think I'm in a catering order program, even though I have delivered about 3 catering orders for the period about I don't know 8-9 months that I DoorDashed. So and like I said, I had I bought the DoorDash's folding cup holder, the three on each side. Also, very nice cup holder to carry it to the customer, but very rarely I use it to hold the cups while I deliver it. But I do use that cup holder, that six cup folding cup holder from DoorDash website, to hold ice cream and shakes. What I'll actually do with that is I'll take that cup holder and I'll put in shakes and ice cream into it, and then I'll put it in a DoorDash hot bag. And then I'll take that hot bag and I'll put it into a second hot bag. And then I'll take that second hot bag and I'll put it in a catering bag. And I have never had a melted ice cream delivered to a customer. Sometimes it would take me even 20 minutes because of I'm multi-apt, and maybe even 25 minutes before I've been able to deliver that ice cream to the customer. And I would turn the cup over and there would be nothing melted on a shake or ice cream. So that's how, if you multi-bag ice cream, it will hold its temperature and will not melt as quick. Jeff, it's not about them helping us, it's about them helping themselves. And one thing that I discovered, that DoorDash will not put any effort, the media will not put any effort, and nobody will not put any effort to actually give a hint to those customers. Maybe they should get those boxes. So, and I discovered that sometimes if you don't hint people, they just don't know that it's an option. If I wanted catering orders. Chris, I have never received that email, but I heard that if you have received an email and you filled out that form and you send out that picture of the catering bag, you increase your chance of getting on the program quite quick. But before you get that email, that's for everybody. Once in a while, they'll send you that catering when there's nobody else to pick it up. And if they see you completing that catering order with customer satisfaction, where a customer will actually mark you as satisfied and rate you with 5, this will eventually trigger that email to be sent out. So, any other questions? And if there's anybody listening to me right now or will be listening to me on a replay, and if you are taking orders from restaurants and you're not putting those orders into a hot bag or a catering bag and you are trying to deliver, there's one thing I'll ask you: either change or get off my channel. That channel is not for you. You might consider me as rude, but I'll tell you this: if you're not refusing to do your job right and keeping that food as much warm as you can, you are making us look bad. And I wish you fail so you stop delivering and stop making us look bad. That's as simple as that. And I believe most of the listeners will agree with me because they're trying their best to get that food delivered to their customers as hot as possible, and you're messing it up for us. And I don't like that. And I'm pretty sure other drivers don't like it as well. Yes, you have to use your hot bags or catering bags. Do not put food. Okay, I'm okay with putting drinks in your car. You don't have to put those in a catering bag or hot bag. I'm talking about, soda drinks. But if you're not putting that ice cream, if you're not putting that food that is warm or hot into something that actually keeps it warm, you're delivering wrong. And reason why I'm saying that is 90% of drivers in Lexington do not have their bags with them, even though Lexington area requires for them to drivers to mark it out. Do they have a hot bag? Do they have a charge phone? Do they have a charger? And do they have enough of fuel? And they mark those things off, but they never use those bags. I even spoke with a couple of the drivers. I said, "Where's the bag?" And he's like, "At home." And I'm like, "What is it doing at home?" "Oh, I forgot." And I'm like, "When was the last time you had a bag with you?" And he's like, "When I started delivering." I'm like, "How long ago was that?" "Oh, 6 months ago." God, help me. Because I'm like, I want to strangle you guys because you guys are making us look bad. Hey, the Driven Dad, how's it going? Welcome. My main priority, keep customers' food as warm as possible while in my passion period. Jackie, I 100% agree with you. Um, DoorDash paying you $2.25 to pick up that order. I personally call it a what is it? Teleportation delivery. You take a picture right at the restaurant of that order and send it to the customer as a text message, and that's all that DoorDash is paying you for. Now, when customer put a tip on that order, now they paid you, not DoorDash, because DoorDash is just a middleman that transfers that payment to you. Now, when they tipped you, and it's and you choose what kind of tip you're willing to take. But when they tipped you and you agreed to the tip and you took that delivery, right now you need to make sure that that food not get teleported, but actually gets delivered in the best manner possible. So that's the way I just see it. Otherwise, why take that tip if you're not willing to work on the behalf of the customer when he right now paid you for that work? Now, if there's no questions, I want to move on to the next section, which I'm also going to release that video separately as well. What happened yesterday? I want you guys to kind of listen to this. Let me know if you guys cannot hear this.
Hello.
Oh.
It's come to our attention you're not using the Spark app, you're using a third-party app.
Spark app.
That's a different app because Spark can't let you clock in check in before 45.
Actually,
they can't. We told them. We've talked to them already.
Okay.
So we're going to schedule your order for a different driver.
Okay.
We don't want you back at our store.
I'll talk to my attorney and I'm sure we'll talk to you.
You can contact Walmart Legal.
Yes.
Okay. You have fun.
As you guys have heard, first of all, can somebody respond that you guys could heard the conversation? Because I want to make sure that you guys have heard. Okay, how do we? Let's see if I mute myself.
Hello. It's come to our attention you're not using the Spark app, you're using the third-party app.
Spark app.
That's a different app because Spark can't let you clock in check in before 45.
Actually,
they can't. We've called them. We've talked to them already.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to reschedule your order for a different driver.
Okay.
We don't want you back at our store, please.
I'll talk with my attorney, and attorney will talk to you.
They can contact Walmart Legal.
Yes.
Okay. You have fun.
Looks like that was better. So now you guys do know that I lately been driving for Spark. I also got a permission from the group to mention the name of the app. But first, I want to say this. You guys do see what's happening with DoorDash and how many drivers are out there on DoorDash system and how hard it is to make the money. So they're kind of asked, hey, when I speak with you guys and I speak about the app and you guys get on the app, try not to get your friends and everybody else on it because you're going to get it a lot of people on the platform and you're not going to be able to make as much money. And so that's kind of, keep that in mind that Walmart still has limited amount of deliveries and more drivers that's competing for those deliveries, the last chance of you actually getting those deliveries. Now, hey, dashing grandpa got a bed from his Walmart yesterday used Spark. So, as you guys have heard, he's saying I am using a third-party app. I have actually spent time today Googling as well as YouTubing various different phrases to see if there is a third-party app for Spark. Because, sometimes you might find some apps out there that actually you can use that app instead of a original app to achieve the same result. And I have not been able to find one. So that's question number one. Where is he getting that information that I'm using a third-party app when there isn't one exist? It's just one does not exist. Eric, no, there isn't one to use on Spark. I didn't find one. Second, Dash Bendica, welcome. So if you DoorDash, you cannot do Walmart orders. Now, here's something. Second, he said that on Spark app, you cannot start a delivery sooner or the mark as arrived or start the order sooner than 45 minutes after. And that is false as well because there is a way to work around to achieve that. And one of the ways is actually putting your phone in the airplane mode. You can't schedule that early, so they're saying you must have been on a turbo. That's what he means. He doesn't know that their app has glitches that allows us to achieve that. Now I want to explain why I use an airplane mode or any other option to start a delivery early. First of all, when I started with Spark and I discovered the number one biggest issue that will not allow us to maximize our income was they do a drop 20 minutes on top of it every hour or 20 minutes after the top of every hour. So you get an order, let's say example at 8:20. Since you are already sitting on their parking lot, because that's the only, there's a lot of drivers, that's the only way you have a chance of getting an order is actually being the closest to the store. Same concept as what I've been talking for the last hour, being the closest. Just keep that in mind, guys. So now Being the closest, I get the order. I get it in the area. If you do not have enough of drivers, you might be 5, 10, 15, 20, even 30, 50 miles away, and you might actually get an order. That all depends how much drivers is in the area or how many drivers refuse that order. So right now they're extending the range. I heard as far as 100 miles, they can send that order out to drivers. So that's number one. Number two, when you get that order 20 minutes after, but they're not allowing you to start that deliver and mark it that you arrived to the Walmart to pick up the order until 45 minutes after top of an hour. That means 25 minutes later. So the question becomes, if you had to go to the Walmart to pick up that to qualify for that offer, so you can get that offer, and then you have to sit another 25 minutes to now mark yourself as arrived to pick up that order, so you can go out deliver. And if you have to wait now another, let's say 15 minutes, so now you're picking up the order, let's say example at 9 o'clock, can you actually go out and deliver that order and come back to Walmart for the 10:20 drop? So a lot of drivers, that if they're not going to manipulate the system to pick up those orders, you're going to get the orders every other hour. Now you have the 25-minute window. You cannot really take another order with DoorDash or Uber Eats. That's not going to allow you to come back on time, because if you are late to pick up an order or late to deliver to the customer, Spark will penalize you, and they have only very limited amount how much you can be late. So it becomes either you manipulate and you make good money, and I made nice money. If I go out there only Spark alone, not doing any other app, and I manipulate the system, I can make around $300 for 12 hours. But if I don't manipulate the system, I tried only one day and I said, I'm not doing it anymore. I barely broke $120. So the question is, as drivers, am I okay with $120 when I have a chance to make $300? Now, okay, so if you DoorDash, you cannot do Walmart orders. You can, but you have to use the Spark app. If you getting orders on DoorDash for Walmart, then you can. But right now, Walmart stores are making a choice of switching over to Spark instead of to Walmart, and within 6 months, most, if not all, stores will be only running on Spark only and not on third-party app like DoorDash or Uber Eats. You said you can schedule that early, so they're saying you must have been on a third-party app. That's his assumption. See, here's where actually a mistake that happened. He called Spark, and Spark said, no, I cannot mark it as start an order until 45 minutes after. But that is not true, because they do not know glitches and issues that their app has. Now, I called multiple times to Spark and I said, it's not worth for me as a driver to wait when, the first couple days before I found workarounds. And they said, go to the store and tell them for them to release the order. When I come to that store and tell them to release the order, they say, we cannot release the order until you check in. And I cannot check in until 45 minutes after. So it's kind of like closed loop. So I found a way to work around that for a closed loop by airplane mode. And now I got myself into a situation, like you guys heard. You cannot, what was his word? You're no longer, let's listen.
I'll talk with my attorney, and attorney will talk to you.
Making content, don't want you back at our store.
So we do not want you back at our store, please. So, it's kind of like, we do not want you back at the store. But wait a minute, please. But if you guys listen to his voice, and I watched him because, I was looking at him when he was speaking to me. This guy was scared of me so much when he came out to say this that I don't bite. Why are you scared of me, guy? So kind of for me was kind of like, what's up with all this? But I am on Monday. We'll be calling Spark. I will be telling them that they're wrong. Their app can be manipulated. That I have been using their app, and I will be playing this audio to them and demanding them to call the store and admit that their app can be have issues. And second, since they always told me to go to the store and demand them to release the order early, that unless he has a good reason, he has no grounds for forcing me to wait until 45 minutes after. Okay, Spark can only do e-shops because I don't want to wait. Yes, on shop order and express orders with the Spark, you don't have to wait. And be honest, on Spark is the first app where I fell in love with shopping on the app. Because DoorDash, I shop, man, it's crazy, it's hard. You have to communicate with the customer. Where I'm here with and I watch some shop. What is that other shopping order? Again, so many drivers call and communicate with the customer so much. It's crazy. And with Walmart, if the item is not, you cannot find it, you cannot miss it, they'll give you an alternative. They'll give you an option even to make it a choice yourself. Not once, and I done probably, I don't know, 15 shop orders for on Spark already. Not once have I had to contact the customer and say, what kind of alternative would they want? It's just so nice. So yes, it is very easy. So that's kind of, I hope that kind of answered, because until I got permission to mention the name of the app, was kind of pointless to play this audio for you guys. So I hope that it kind of cleared up some of the questions you guys were having. Was I using a third app? What app are they talking about? What's the store? And as I did the last Saturday, I kind of, talked a little bit about Spark, but I tried to avoid saying that I'm driving for Spark. But today I kind of, letting you guys know who am I driving. And again, there's a one negativity with this particular store. There is no good, valuable restaurant by this store that I could actually multi-app. Now, I will be going to another, and let's go back to the map so you guys can understand. Same thing with Spark. I want to kind of give you guys some ideas as you guys run how to actually analyze for Spark which Walmart you want to run with. So here we go. Let's choose the map again. So here we have Lexington area. We have a Walmart here, which again, neighborhood that I already mentioned, lower class income. So no, there is a Walmart right here, but you have all this area right here that Walmart services, and a lot of area to run. So now you have a Walmart right here, where it says Kroger. Right there, Walmart. Now this Walmart right here services, and this is what I actually like, will service up to here, and will service this area right here. Because it's service, and if I run from here to here, it's about 10 minutes maximum. Anywhere up to right here or right here, it's 10 minutes maximum. And up to here, it's 10 minutes maximum. I have not went further down. So kind of, a perfect Walmart where I can come back in 15, 20 minutes back to the store and get myself positioned perfectly for that next drop. So kind of, now we have another Walmart here. We have a super mall. This is actually a neighborhood mall. So those are the small Walmart. But then we have a super mall, super Walmart right here. Wait time there can get up to an hour before they load you up. Sam's Club, never did a delivery for Sam's Club, and I'm not planning to try it because a lot of the stuff that at Sam's Club are bulk. So you can fill up the cart, and then you might even travel to there and realize that you might not even fit the whole order into your vehicle. So that's why I never took a Sam's Club. Then we have a Walmart here. I will do a shop order for this Walmart right here, but I will not take a curbside pickup because also an hour wait at this Walmart. So there is one Walmart left, is right here. No, right there. This Walmart, which I have done a couple orders for this Walmart. But the problem with this Walmart will service from, I kind of want to get you guys an idea. This one will service all this area right here, will avoid the Frankfurt and go all the way up to here. So this Walmart services a huge area. I actually got an order one time that was 70 miles. So you want to kind of, if you're starting with the Spark, you want to analyze your area. You want to analyze your Walmarts. And you want to figure out which Walmart is your option number 1 and which Walmart will be option number 2 and which Walmart will be option number 3 and which the rest of the Walmart you will just not go, or if you will go, you will only go for a certain type of orders. So that's it. Now, here's another tip on the Spark. And this is the one that I have not shared with the other group yet, that I will be sharing that on Tuesday. If you hold your acceptance rate at 90% and higher, you will get better paying orders. The problem is some of those tips will never clear. And I want to show you guys an example for you guys to understand. Here's the data for every single order I have taken since I started. As I started, I had 100%, which, then I started, here's where's red is where tips, like some of you call it tip baiting. Those are the tips that just never cleared. Customer pulled those tips. Now, as right here, I dropped my, I started picking and choosing orders, as you know, a lot of us drivers do. We pick and choose orders. So I started picking and choosing orders, and as you guys can see, almost smaller paying offers, but at the same time, not one was pulled. Now, there was just one pull right there out of all that. But now, as you guys can see, as I started getting around the 22nd, I started raising my acceptance by taking every single order. Again, $15 not paid, $3 not paid. And this week, which is starting from the 21st, 1, 2, and on the 24th, which is I believe Wednesday or Thursday, I got my acceptance rate to about 87%. Look at that, two in one day, and well, that was Thursday. 2 in one day. Thursday, I was at 90% acceptance rate. On Friday, I was at 94% acceptance rate. So the higher your acceptance rate, the better paying offers will come in, but you also are risking yourself with the tip baiters. So you want to actually position yourself where your acceptance rate not too low, but is low enough that you're getting less of those baiters. I'd rather take a little bit cheaper orders, but don't have those tip baiters, than trying, then focus on the 25, 30 orders and taking everything in a row. And sometimes I have to take that $9 order, but then, having two orders a day being tips pulled. So smart orders are super easy, man. Way better pay, but no filters are available. Can you opt for only shop orders? Jeff, no, you cannot, or at least they said to me cannot, because I called and I asked to get only shop orders only. Can you opt for only shop? And how do shop orders on Spark compare to shop orders? I have never done a shop order on DoorDash at Walmart. Um, but if you give an example like Rite Aid, Walgreens, they don't give you an aisle. With the Spark, you get an aisle, you get a row, and you get a price that the item should be at, and you get an item description with a picture. So you're literally, kind of going in that specific spot and kind of looking for that item. But I have noticed that sometimes they will, change the spot a little bit to the right, to the left. So you might actually, have to move down the road one spot to the right and one spot to the left, and find it if you're not finding it in that particular spot. Second, what I love is I do not have to contact the customer for a replacement. Sometimes customer will choose a replacement, and sometimes, and if there's no replacement, Walmart will say that they're entrusting me with a replacement of that item, instead of me calling the customer and trying to ask what they would like to replace it with. So I never had to contact the customer, and that's what I love the most. And there is a glitch on the app, and I'll show you guys. The glitch is, as you are shopping and you're holding the phone, you might accidentally hit the area where item not able to find that item. And if there is no replacement and Walmart not offering for you to pick in the replacement, it will automatically go to not able to find an item. And you might be saying, wait a minute, I was just looking for that item and just disappeared. You will have to back out and then click on completed, and then look for that item that has a red X on it. Click added, and then and then scan that item barcode, and fix it that way. I called or that Spark already, told them the issue is, and that's one thing that it's kind of pisses me off. I called them, I gave them a lot of good problems that are having with their app, and in the end of the day, they just appreciated me that way by kicking me out of the store. That just kind of doesn't fly with me. That just what I'm just talking to you guys about, that app issue, that should be a swipe instead of a touch, that button right there. And because it's a touch, and drivers accidentally hitting the button and not realizing where that the item just disappeared, uh, store is actually losing a lot of money, because they are refunding that money for that item to the customer, which they could have, a driver could have delivered it and pulled it from the store. Second issue, sometimes Walmart will, instead of refunding, will send out their employee and then send out as a batch order. Because I seen some of the things that were missing on an order, and then I would get a batch and I would redeliver to the same customer that evening or that next day, that item that the store did not have. So again, that's extra money spent on a store behalf just to get that item, which driver accidentally marked it as he couldn't find. I think happened for shop. Spark stop orders. Yeah, I have been debated. Spark shop orders super easy and way better pay, but no unfilters are available. I think shop orders is they don't have enough shoppers shop out for work. They will release to sport. Here's you are kind of correct unless I misunderstood you. Is if their store employees that are pulling orders are falling behind and not able to keep up with the orders, that's when they will convert the orders that falling behind into shop orders. Otherwise, those orders will be picked by the Walmart employees and will be released as curbside pickup. Meaning compared to shop orders anywhere. And yes, on a shop order, I have noticed they start paying you at $17, and if you go past the time the clock that you see on the top of the screen, they will actually compensate you for that extra time spent shopping for that order because whatever the issue that you fell behind. So very nice way to get compensated, on top of that $17. And then of course, if there's a tip, then that order might be 23, 28, 32, whatever, even $40, depends how much a customer tipped on that order. I have spoken with some couple drivers, and I have heard the biggest order at this Walmart was 200 plus items as a shop order. I personally don't agree that the shop order should be ever more than 20 items. Uh, if the big orders, they should be pulled by Walmart employees, because if you have a full cart and you come into the security, it's impossible for the security to verify your order. And I think eventually will lead to people putting a lot of stuff on the bottom for themselves and covering up with the orders that they're shopping for the customer on the top, and walking out of the Walmart with $200, $300, $400 worth of groceries that never belong to the customer. Uh, Jeff, definitely check it out. If you can figure out a way how to um, multi-app with Spark, you can actually even make more. Something that I said about this Walmart right here, even though it's has a huge delivery area, and I will try to filter which orders I take and which orders I'm not going to take. But here's a Panera bread. Here's wild egg, Qdoba. All of these right here. There's also a pet store for that. Pet Supply Plus. All of these are either on Uber Eats or on DoorDash. So out of this Walmart, I might be able to also multi-app right now, where on the other location was just not worth it at all. So maybe the universe and whatever just happened with the store is pushing me to the store, because I probably might actually make an extra $30 to $50 more a day here than compared what I was only limited to make there by only being on one app, because turning the DoorDash and Uber app was just nothing happening. I was getting a lot of the 225 and 325s, and they were just not worth for me to take. And of course, and then a lot of those restaurants right here, or fast foods like McDonald's, Taco Bell, you get there and you have to wait. And with Walmart, it just might not fly as good when you have to wait. Hey, Rideshare Rodeo, how's it going? Now, Rideshare Rodeo have brought something to my attention, and I want to say to all of you guys that have watched my video on are the meals tax deductible? And I want to say this. I do apologize. I had to take the video down. I've been a S corporation for so long that I forgot about the Schedule C and how that can be non-tax deductible. And and in second, I said it's a 50%, and if it's a meal is business related, and you have to have a business related, you have to have two people attending that meal at least and talk about business or more. And it's 100% for the tax year of 2021, which I did not know as well. So I do apologize, and I have, for that reason, I have removed that video. So I hope I cleared up some questions and some uh, thoughts that you guys were having on what happened yesterday and what is going to happen further. Here's something else I'll tell you guys. I was really pissed because they took a $10 order from me at 12:35, and then they took that second order, which was $30 order, at 1:25 when he came out to talk to me. I was really pissed, so I called Spark. I tried to battle with them for a compensation for the full amount of the order compensation, which I failed. Eventually, they told me I should call legal department, which they gave me the phone number. I called legal department, and I sat on the phone for almost an hour. And eventually just hanged up because I couldn't. Nobody answered. But during the call, something very interesting happened as I was driving home. At one point, as their music was playing, I went lightheaded. You know, I did sometime, kind of did been on that edge of lightheaded, but literally, I've been so bad lightheaded that that I turned my emergency lights on because I was heading home at that point, and I slowed down my car to about 15 miles an hour, trying to find a place to drive up and tried to hold myself not going completely unconscious. And at a certain point, I did found area where the grass was not very sloped, so I just pulled off, hit the park car in the park, and just closed my eyes because I just needed the retention. And that lightheadedness was not stopping. So when I turned the volume down of their music playing, suddenly I started feeling relief. So I'm kind of wondering, could there be possibility that they're actually using certain waves during music in their legal department to um, get people to hang up, so they never actually reach somebody to speak to? Because for me, it was kind of like, wow. So I will be retesting this again because I do need to still get hold of Spark and possibly get hold of a legal department, because I doubt I'll be able to resolve my question through Spark without legal department involved. And I want to kind of get to the bottom of it. But hey, welcome, Mushi. How's it going? So yeah, that's kind of wanted to kind of let you guys know that situation as well. So any questions I am back. I don't know what's going on with Spark in my area, but I had him like 6, 7 times come out. They replaced the modem multiple times. They cannot figure out why I lose internet at my house about 5, 6 times a day. It's not where I'll lose it every 15, 20 minutes, but every couple hours I'll lose internet, and it takes about 5 minutes for the modem to um, reset, and then I'll get the internet back. So I do apologize about that, but in the future streams, I guess I just have to live with that, and I have no control over that. And Spark doesn't seem like they really care about trying to get that fixed. So, any other questions? And you guys might notice that I'm kind of looking to the side. I have two 27-inch curved monitors. So I'm right now looking at the center of the monitor, and that's actually where I have my webcam set. But if I look that corner to that camera, to that corner, that's actually my top left side of the monitor, and then I have a second monitor on the side. So if I look to that completely to the right, that means I'm looking at the other monitor. So do apologize. I used to work behind the computer for last couple of years as I ran the company, because I was running as a CEO. I was running as a legal department. I ran as tech support for the employees because I built maturity of the platform that were used by the company. So I kind of was tied down for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week behind the computer. So running on a small monitor was just not realistic. That's why I had the 27-inch monitors at my table. So, can you guys hear me? You guys should be able to hear me about the camping. Hey, the driven dad, do what you have to do, because end of the day, my understanding, that's the way I believe, is man is the one that provides, and you cannot afford to get sick as a provider. So there is no insurance, there is no sick days that pay 6 days as a business owner and as a contractor. So um, you cannot afford that. Here you have in the SAP 3 out of 10 order for to see upfront address. If so, I do not know because I have not turned on Uber, because that would be Uber and Grubhub would be my first two apps to fall back. DoorDash would be one of the last apps I would fall back. So I will turn on DoorDash and ignore decline like 10 orders, and I'll turn it back off. That's about as far as I got with DoorDash for the last couple of weeks since I've been on Spark. But on Uber Eats, I don't want to turn it on and not able to take an order when a good order comes in. So that's why I don't even turn it on. But if there was that program available in my area, I have only seen two offers that came in where it had no information. And both times I called Uber and I said, if you guys not going to remove that, then I am not going to deliver for you guys, because I need to know full details of the delivery before I make a choice of taking an order. So again, I'm one of those guys that I'll try to, since I do understand how the legal system works, I'll try to use the legal side if I have to. I'll try to challenge. I don't like to go and scream. If you guys listen to my to the recording I played today, because that guy was pissed at the same time, scared like hell, I calmly just said, "Hey, I'll have an attorney get hold of you." And he's like, "No, just get hold of Walmart legal side. That's it." I did not want to push him to escalate that to possibly something bigger. So I calmly just said, okay. I wanted to say, I'm using Spark app, but if you guys heard, he didn't even allow me to even say that. So I'm like, hey, if you're not listening, I am not pushing. But at the same time, if I get a driver support on the phone and they're willing to listen, I will push, because end of the day, I'm only in control of my bottom line. And if I can get my message across to them, and if there's something they can do to help me increase my bottom line, oh, I'll take that chance every time I have. So that's why I will make those phone calls. I will, sometimes give them recommendations, because now, if they're fair, next time when I call, they already have that notification on my account. Hey, treat this guy a little bit better, and then I can get some of that, better communication with the driver support. So that just that's just the way I kind of try to play, and that's why for me with Spark, I was just amazed how they just wasn't appreciative. Let's put it this way. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? We are almost 3 hours in. Same thing as last Saturday. Hey guys, I want to say, and ladies, I want to say thank you, because you guys are here with me for 3 hours. It makes me feel like, I am doing something right. Otherwise, you could have been somewhere else doing something else. And I appreciate that, guys. At the same time, I'm pretty sure I delivered a lot of valuable information today. We probably going to touch next Saturday on a topic of multi-apping. I still have to think about what can I say from my experience. I hope some of you that are not multi-apping, maybe I'll be able to get you guys encouraged to do so. Maybe for those of you that are multi-apping, maybe I will be able to give you guys a little trick that I discovered that you might have not. And bottom line is, I personally striking on DoorDash by not taking any orders, unless something very nice comes and it's not going to affect my Spark business with the Spark app. Now, because I am on strike with DoorDash and not taking orders with DoorDash, because I found another app, I want to encourage every single one of you to commit at least registering for a new app every single week. So this week, I guess it's going to be Spark for you guys. Register, test it out, have questions. Let's talk about it. Maybe next week we'll do another app and see what you can find in your area that actually will do better than DoorDash will. Because I know there is apps out there that can make you a lot of money and probably pay you a lot better than DoorDash. And your self-esteem out of it, everything, your self-esteem will jump immediately, because you will no longer feel degraded by seeing those 225s coming in. Because you might not be noticing how much it's impacting your self-esteem, your value, by seeing those 225s. And when you start seeing those 15, 20, 25, $30 orders, just like this, boom, you're almost right there with your self-esteem. You start feeling like you're worth it, like it's something that they're making a difference in your life compared to that 225. So Rodeo, good night. I guess a lot of already left, so good night, everybody. And unless there's another question, So if not, then let's start wrapping it up. I want to say one thing to every single one of you. You are blessed. You are in control. And you can make a difference in your family. And the only thing is, you need to make the decision to start doing that. Start being in control. Start picking that right orders. Start looking for those right apps. Start making that success in your family, because your family depends on you. And I want to say, be blessed. Take care.